You ever read something that just falls flat? You know, the words are all there, but the world just feels so empty? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the secret ingredient that transforms that kind of flat, boring writing into a world you can actually see, hear, and feel. Let's jump in. Okay, just look at this for a second. On the left, you've got the car drove down the street. I mean, it works, right? But it's kind of like a ghost. There's no substance to it. Now, look at the right. All of a sudden, we have a gleaming silver car on a murky street. Boom, an image pops into your head just like that. That simple little change is the huge difference between just reporting a fact and actually telling a story. So what we just did there, that's called sensory writing. And it's really just the art of using words that hook into our five senses. It's how you pull the reader right out of their chair and drop them smack dab in the middle of your scene. It stops being about what happens and starts being about what it feels like to be there. To get really good at this, we're going to build your own writer's toolkit. And inside, we've got 5 essential tools, one for each sense. Seriously, think of these as your secret weapons for building worlds that feel absolutely real. We're going to go through them one by one. All right, let's grab our first tool, and it's the one we're probably most familiar with, the seeing eye. We all describe what things look like, but the real trick is to go way beyond the basics and really start painting a picture with your words. So when we talk about sight, it's so much more than just color. We're talking about shape and size. Is something massive or is it spindly? We're talking about texture. Is it gleaming and new or worn out and old? Heck, even light and shadow. Is a scene dazzling or is it dark and murky? Every single one of these choices adds a totally new layer of detail. And here's where it all comes together. We can see the car's texture. It's gleaming. We get the street's whole atmosphere. It's murky. And we feel the quality of the light. It's dazzling. Just 3 specific words create a complete visual scene that has a very distinct mood. Next up, tool number 2, the listening ear. Now, if sight builds the stage, then sound, well, sound is what makes it feel like it's all happening right now. It adds this dynamic, real-time layer to your world that you just can't get any other way. And just like with sight, being specific is everything. Think about it. Is it the loud chatter of a crowd, or is it the quiet, intimate whisper between 2 people? Is that the gentle rustle of leaves, or the tense creak of a floorboard? Every sound gives off a totally different vibe. Just listen to this. That creak. It builds tension, right? The crunch of snow immediately puts us somewhere cold. And that distant rumble of thunder, it adds this feeling that something bad might be coming. The sounds themselves are telling their own little story. Okay, let's move on to our third tool, the feeling hand. This one is so powerful because it creates a direct physical connection between your reader and the world that you've built. It makes everything feel tangible. You know, touch isn't just one thing. It's texture. Is a surface smooth or is it prickly? It's temperature. Is something warm or is it chilly? It's even about firmness, like the difference between something soft and something sharp. Using this sense makes your world something your reader can literally feel. You know what makes this sentence work so well? It's the contrast. You can almost feel the difference between that smooth, chilly glass and then that set-in, sharp scratch from the prickly needles. That contrast, that change in sensation, makes the whole experience feel immediate and way more memorable. And finally, our last 2 tools. Now, these are often forgotten, but they are, scientifically, the most powerful senses for triggering memory and emotion: the sensing nose and the tasting tongue. And there's a really cool reason for this. Our sense of smell is wired directly to the parts of our brain that handle memory and emotion. It's like a biological shortcut straight to the reader's heart. These 2 senses can transport a reader like nothing else can. Just think about it for a second. The aromatic smell of a bakery, the musty scent of an old book, the sour shock of a lemon, or the comforting taste of a savory meal. These words don't just describe, they tap directly into our own life experiences. And right here, you can see them working together perfectly. That welcoming, aromatic smell of bread, it sets a really cozy scene. But then you get that surprising combination of savory and bitter on the plate, and it creates this curiosity and complexity. Suddenly, you really want to know more. Okay, so we've looked at each tool in our kit one by one. But the real magic, the really fun part, happens when we start combining them. Let's watch the transformation from bland to brilliant happen right before our eyes.
So here are our starting points. 5 perfectly fine but completely forgettable sentences. They give us the basic facts, but none of the feeling, none of the experience. Let's fix that, one by one.
First one, instead of just a man and a person, boom, now we have a massive man looking at a spindly person. With just 2 simple sight words, we've created instant contrast, we've hinted at character, and we've already started a story. The room was quiet. Now becomes this. The silence isn't just empty anymore. Now it's filled with these small atmospheric sounds, the creak and the rustle, which, funnily enough, actually makes the scene feel even quieter and way more intense. The food tasted good is such a classic example of telling someone something instead of showing them. But describing it as savory, sweet, and spicy, now we can almost taste it ourselves, right? The description is specific, and it's intriguing. Look at how much more powerful this is. Cold is just a temperature. But chilly water that feels smooth, that's an entire physical sensation. We've combined temperature and texture here to create a whole experience. And finally, how do you show a car is old without just saying the car was old? Well, you use sight words like worn out and dull, and then you add a sound. It starts to rattle. Now we don't just know the car is old, we can actually see it and hear it. So, at the end of the day, sensory writing isn't about just adding more and more words. It's about choosing the right words. And now, you have the toolkit, so it's your turn. Close your eyes and picture a busy city street at night. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? Go on, put your new tools to work.